Hi everyone. As you know, we had the Back to School Institute a couple of weeks ago. We had some great sessions there. One of the ones that generated the most interest and the most requests for additional information, unsurprisingly, was Brian Parker and Joseph Cower doing a fabulous job on AI, or artificial intelligence, or ChatGPT. Okay, so they did a great job of that. We made the recording available, but again, it was a presentation, so you had Q&A and them demonstrating what we want to do, or what I want to do is kind of stand on their shoulders on the great work that they did and make a nice, clean recording of how to take ChatGPT and create a quiz with it. And we also absolutely want to fold in Brian's talk about how to refine prompts. We're going to utilize that as well. Refine our prompts to make a better and better and better quiz as we go along. Okay, so a couple of caveats before we start. We're using ChatGPT 3.5. We are not using the paid version 4.0, which does have some improvements, but does also cost $20 a month. So we're going to use the free one, and it is the most common one. There are other AI systems out there, but this is the one that most people are using. So we're going to deal with that. The other caveat I want to start with is I want everybody to repeat after me. I am the subject matter expert. One more time. I am the subject matter expert. Okay, as you guys are saying that or rolling your eyes at me, either one, why am I saying that? Well, because it's true. You guys are the subject matter expert. ChatGPT is not. If you want me to be blunt, we're paying you to teach the class, not ChatGPT. Okay, so we've all heard the horror stories, some funny, some not, about ChatGPT, creating legal court precedents that never existed or academic studies that were never created. So it's created answers out of whole cloth that don't exist. Magazines have had ChatGPT write articles that were completely incorrect. On a less humorous note, since ChatGPT has been trained on human written material, absolutely, there's the possibility that ChatGPT gives you content that is racist or sexist or biased. So we want you to make sure as you're doing this, ChatGPT is awesome and great and can cut hours and hours and hours of time out of your prep work. But at the end of the day, you need to read it, you need to proof it, you need to make sure that your test is right, that it's appropriate, that it covers the correct content, the correct difficulty, all that stuff that you guys know already, okay? I will stop browbeating you all. My apologies, but not really, because, it's important and I just like haranguing people for no reason whatsoever. Okay, so let's get started. I've already written my prompts. And forgive me, South Campus, but I'm going to do a question or a quiz on car batteries. I know nothing about car batteries other than the red goes on the red and the black goes on the black. So if I get something completely wrong, please forgive me and start giggling now and get it out of your system. All right, so here is our first prompt. We type it in at the bottom, and we just told it a very basic thing: create a 10-question quiz on car batteries. And voila, there's a 10-question quiz on car batteries. That's all that it takes, okay? But again, hey, subject matter expert, you look at this and say, yeah, it's okay, but if I was doing this, I would do it a lot better. Well, hopefully we can get ChatGPT to up its game and to make a much better quiz. So the first thing we're going to do is make sure it's at the appropriate content. So you can do all sorts of shaping. I'm going to say make it appropriate for technical college students. You could say only using events that occurred during this time or only covering these areas. We put this in, and now it's rewriting it so that it's appropriate for technical college students. Okay, and here's our 10 questions. Again, I don't know anything about batteries. I'm hoping this has done it correctly. All right. And we can shape it even more. All right, I'm going to tell it that rather than 10 multiple choice questions, I want 6 multiple choice questions, 3 short answers, and 1 essay. Again, we can make it 50 questions, any sort of variety we want, but this is the basic rewrite, and it's going to go through, and here you see, here comes 6 multiple choice questions, and here come 3 short answer questions, and here comes an essay question. Okay? We can keep refining it. If we're really bored, we can do something like this, which you're all going to do at some point in time when you start doing this. Yeah, please don't do that. Okay, so you can tell it to, this is where you see all the stuff like, write this quiz, but in the style of Bob Dylan or Jack Kerouac or a mean girl, or something like that. So you can do that. You can play with it, have your fun. It might actually create something that you and your students enjoy. But at the end of the day, I'm going to ignore that one and go back to this prompt, which is, I don't like, well, going back up to here, I don't like question 1 for whatever reason. Maybe it's wrong, maybe it's too hard, maybe we don't cover it. It could be that it's outdated. Remember that ChatGPT's knowledge ends in 2021. That's all the information it was trained on, so maybe question 1 is outdated. What I'm going to do is go up to this edit button, get rid of my ridiculous make the answers rhyme prompt, and replace it with something important like, let's swap out that first question. Okay, and now it's going to regenerate an answer here. And now you see it's given us a new first question. Okay, so that walks us through that. Again, I'm going to hit you one more time. You are the subject matter expert. You are the subject matter expert, so you're going to go back, you're going to look at it, you're going to make sure those answers are right. You're going to make sure it's the appropriate difficulty. You might go back, for example, and say, hey, this test seems a little easy. Give me 5 answers instead of 3. So you can keep going through and refining it until you get it to where you want. Again, subject matter expert, you've decided there's a few things it doesn't quite cover. So you go in and maybe you say, let's replace that last multiple choice question with a question about hybrid batteries, because that seems really important, green energy and all that. So let's replace this, fingers crossed. And there you go. It's given us a hybrid question that we can then take and, add it, replace number 6. You will notice, transparency here. I wanted to swap it out. It didn't. If I wanted, I could sit here and wrangle this question for 20 minutes trying to get it to do it, but that's good enough. When I copy and paste, when I type it, I'll just ignore 6 and type in the new one. Okay, so we can do that. You can do almost anything that you want with that, but now I've created a quiz that I am happy with, that I can take. Good news, bad news. The bad news, or the good news, is it saved you hours of time having to sit at a blank screen and try and create and type these from scratch. The bad news is, as of today, you are going to have to go in and copy and paste or type these into Canvas, or put it in a Word document, whatever, on your own. The good news is, in the next couple of weeks, we are going to create a video that walks you through how to actually take this stuff that ChatGPT generates. It's a bit of a hoop jumping. You have to toss it into Excel, you have to save it, you have to convert it into a QTI, import it back up into Canvas. So we don't want to overload people. Do this, get used to it, get familiar with it. But if you go, man, this is great, but this would take forever to create 200 questions, we hear you. We're going to show you a shortcut that's going to show you how to do that, and walk you through that. All right. The other question you might ask is, this is great, but this is just random questions about car batteries. I needed to actually cover chapter whatever on my from my textbook. So what I'm going to do is create a new chat, and what you can actually do is copy and paste your textbook or something from the internet. Even if it's a manual book that you have, or a hard copy that you have, you can go to the library, make sure you tell them what you're using it for. They will make sure that it's scanned in an OCR copier. What that just means is it actually scans it so that the computer can read the words. It doesn't take a picture. So what I've done is I've gone in, and again, I've cheated and copied and pasted. Oops. And there we are, from a textbook. And type that and hit enter. It processes it. And by the way, it's probably going to say something effective. Hey, this is copyrighted material. And yep, it says it's textbook chapter. Sometimes it'll say copyrighted material. It recognizes what it is. It is limited to about 2,000 words at a time, so I'm not going to do all this. But what I've actually done is I copied and pasted it in chunks, you could put all of those chunks in one at a time, and then you're done with it and you've entered it all in. Now I can say again, create a 10 question quiz based on the above passages. And it goes back, digests it, and says from that information that you gave me, here's 10 questions. So for those of you who want to do chapter tests or stuff off of reading that you've assigned them, you just have to get it into ChatGPT first. And again, we could do all the things again. Give me 20 questions, give me an essay question, give me a summary, all of that sort of information you can have it do there. Okay, so guess what? We're basically done. That's how you can either create a test from scratch or create a test from content, how you can refine it, get it in the way that works best. One more time, I am the subject matter expert. Yes, you are. And on that note, since you guys are subject matter experts, the last thing we want to close with, and I do want to stress this, is we don't have AI policies at Bates yet. We're working on some of this stuff, and we have some bits of it. So rather than have this be, board level policy, we just want to encourage you as you're doing this. Some of you are talking about your students using AI. Well, model the appropriate behavior for them. You can't yell at them for using AI and submitting it as their work if you're using AI and submitting it at your work. So what I would do is, as I'm creating these, I would just simply tell my students that this is what I did. The first thing about AI transparency is citation. So tell them, hey guys, I made this test using AI. Let them see behind the curtain, see how the sausage is made, whatever. Tell them that you've done that. Explain your process to them so they know how it works. I had it generate questions and then I proofread it. I deleted some questions that weren't appropriate. I made sure it covered this content. Explain your justification to them. That's big. Hey, I'm your instructor. You don't want me spending 20 hours this week trying to generate 3 tests and sitting at a blank screen, finger typing in order to get this done. I had AI do it. I double checked it. I made sure the stuff was good. I fixed it. But that freed up hours that I could then spend lecturing, doing clinicals, walking around the lab, giving one-on-one help. So you're explaining that justification. At the end of the day, your situation should be analogous to their situation. So if they're in the workplace, you've modeled it, and they're going to go up to their boss and say something similar. Hey, you gave me this task, this assignment to do. I used AI. Here's what it generated. I've already double checked the work, and I did it in 5 minutes, and that gave me extra time in order to do these tasks over here. They should be saying almost the same thing as you. Okay, so hopefully we walked through that. That helps you out. If you've got any questions, you know what we're going to say, give us a call, let us walk you through it. But I think this is a super powerful tool that a lot of instructors are already using. We just want to make sure we do it right, we do it ethically, and we do it in a way that respects our students.